Captain on the bridge.
Alright, Captains, we are back here on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be on the Temporal Light Cruiser. Before we get into this video, do us a huge favor, Captains, hit that like button to help this video, to help the channel out, but also if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge, where we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains, share our love, passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, with that said, here we go. Yes, Captains, with all this talk of TMP being the theme of the upcoming 15th anniversary bundle, well, we decided to hop on back into my second love in Star Trek, which is this ship. So what we want to do in this video is go over the build, weapons, space set, consoles, trade stations, DOFs, then take it into a Cure Advance and see how it does. Now, the other reason why we wanted to do this video was in a recent patch, they actually did a change to the pulse phasers, which we all know is the TMP era phasers here in Star Trek Online. So we're going to quickly put that on screen here. As you can see, it says pulse phaser beams have had their travel speed increased by 400%. Pulse phaser beams have 20% smaller visuals while using beam overload. So that's quite interesting, to say the least. I've always kind of had an issue with the pulse phasers in Star Trek Online, as they just didn't look right to the actual what we saw on screen there in Wrath of Khan. Now, when we said we wanted to try them out, we wanted to see how they look in terms of visual, to see if it's any closer to the actual part of what we saw on screen. Now, quickly, I will go back out of so to show the visuals of that to see if they did any better. And then, of course, we'll give our conclusions to see if they did. Now, again, I have to keep in mind personally that this is, yes, a Star Trek and it's only a game, but we want to try to get it as close as possible. My opinion, all the beams actually could use a visual redo in terms of how big they are, especially phasers. Captains, if you have the bowel beams, they actually look like the right sort of length when it comes to, or not length, like width or look when it comes to the beams. They actually look like the beams from the card. Now, I'm going to put this on screen quickly, and hopefully we don't get copyright strike, but we just want to play quickly how they look and how they sound. So here we go. So there you go. That little quick clip is what we're going to base our judgment on these beams. So we'll find out when we go into a Cure. So to go over the build here, again, it is the Temporal Light Cruiser. This is one of the, actually this was the first, I believe the first promo Connie to come into Star Trek Online, and yes, we definitely got it. So as you can see, it is definitely using the pulse phaser beam arrays, which we've rerolled to crit DM damage 4. Now we're also, and we have 4 of that in the 4, and we're also going to use the advanced photon torpedo launcher. Now, we've used this on some previous builds. I like the look of it because it's actually pretty close to what we've seen there on screen. It's very bright. It has a very nice look to it, so that's why I like using it. Is it the best photon torpedo? No. It's just there for looks, to be honest, Captains. Space set, nothing too different. The deflector, the Elite Fleet Intervention Proto Matter Deflector. Oh, these beams, by the way, I just got them on the exchange, so nothing really crazy. Again, the Elite Fleet Intervention Proto Matter Deflector from your fleet colony. You got your Prevailing Innovated Impulse Engines from your competition rep. The Tholian Nucleating Warp Core. Now, as of the drop of this video, the MUDs will be adding, or have added, this nucleating set to the actual MUD store. So this is why I use it, because of the actual benefits from it. I could use easily a Fleet Warp Core, the Spire Warp Core, or even just the Discovery Warp Core, so it's up to you. I just use it here. Next, Utilities Review pending modified shield, and that is from the Discovery rep. Rounding off the weapons in the aft, we've got 2 more of the pulse phaser beams, and then another advanced photon torpedo, which again, these torpedoes just got off the exchange. Devices, this is what we got going on. The Kobayashi Maru Transponder for its buff goodness, Deuterium Surplus for evasive maneuvers in a can, Temporal Negotiator to help us with our cooldowns, and some Energy Candy for the plus 20% bonus energy weapon damage for 20 seconds and plus 30 Starship Shield penetration for 20 seconds as well. Engineering, we've loaded it up with the Phaser Isomags, the plus 39.4% phaser damage, plus 7.3 stacking weapon power, and 7.3 stacking max weapon power. Consoles, keep going here. We have the Adaptive Emergency Systems, which we got from the Odyssey, plus 19 energy damage resistance rating, plus 3.3% maximum hull capacity. But it also, when you click it, damage and damage resistance buff. So plus 50 bonus all damage resistance rating for 30 seconds, plus 30% bonus all damage for 30 seconds as well. Now we will be using the phaser, the emulating phaser lance from the Deimos Pilot Destroyer, which you can get from your event campaign. This is really good to help trigger Universal Design's trait that we're using. Gives us a little 15.8% phaser damage and also 43.8 Starship Shield pen. Not the same color, but in my mind, when this thing fires off, engineering is just putting a little bit more power in that next phaser beam shot, hence a different color. That's just how I look at it. Next, the Dynamic Power Redistribution Module, or the DPRM, which is from the Atlas, aka Prototype Dreadnought, I should say. Plus 11.3 all damage resistance rating, plus 19% directed energy damage. But the clicky, for 20 seconds when you hit it, plus 40% bonus damage when your hull is above 80, plus 100 bonus damage resistance rating, plus 500% hull regen. So it's a great oh crap button. We're going to be using Fleet Power Network Array, which is from the Awani C-Store that you can get from the 14th Anniversary Bundle. To friend and up to 12 pets, they control for 35 seconds, 50% to 125% directed energy weapon fire cycle haste, scales and aux power. Every 3 seconds, 60% chance to apply one of the beams, overload 1, cannon rapid fire 1, or torpedo high yield 1 or salvo 1. So it's going to help sort of our beams and torpedoes in that aspect as well. And it does help us when we do hit that console. Next, we're going to use the Shield Absorptive Frequency Generator, which is from the Valdor. When below 90% on any shield facing, 2.5% chance per shot for all energy weapons to restore shields for 200% of outgoing damage. So it's also great. It does trip quickly. I found that it was actually tripping a lot with these pulse phaser beams. Whether that was the case beforehand, I don't know. I'm just putting here for a little survivability. Next, we have Domino from the Bajoran Interceptor, which you can get from the Phoenix Prize Pack Epic Token tier. Plus 15% phaser damage, plus 20 AC rating. But when we hit it for 10 seconds, 25% fire cycle haste for energy weapons, plus 25% bonus all damage, plus 25% recharge speed for bridge officer abilities, and 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. And within 10 seconds, if we defeat a foe, it extends that duration by 2 seconds. So pretty good. Lastly, we have the Custom Power Matrix, which is from the Ilios, which was the Winter Event Prize of 2024. As you can see there, it gives us some good stuff there. When we hit it, when we toggle the shield's power, we get plus weapon haste, engine to bridge, plus crit severity, aux to bridge, we get plus crit chance. I do have it slotted in tactical, so what's that giving us? Plus 20 engine power, plus 5 maximum engine power. So I do not have this T6X2'd, because I always like to see how my ships do regardless of me doing that. Maybe one day I will, but this ship in its own right, it's doing fine. I'm pretty sure it does anywhere from 100 to maybe 400k, maybe even 500, depending on the team that I'm on when we're doing an ISE. Now for stats, you have crit chance of 32.7% and crit severity of 150%. Now keep in mind, captains, I do have my Pendevers helping me. I am at level 600. I can go to 750, the max, but I was doing before they capped it, and I'm doing fine right now. So I find no need to use it. Maybe I will one day, just not today. Skills, I have not changed this, nor do I plan on. I have 8 spent in engineering, 10 spent in science, and 28 spent in tactical. Traits is what we got going on. A good day to die. Superior beam training. Beam barrage. Self-modulating fire. Fragment of AI tech. Adaptive offense. Unconventional systems. Terran targeting systems. Intelligence agent attaché. And the Boimler effect. Starship traits, this is what we got going on here. Emergency weapon cycle. Ship of the line. Entwined tactical matrices, or ETM for short. We're using temporal tunneling. And universal designs, as I mentioned earlier. When activating universal console, after 20 seconds it stacks, we get plus 2% crit chance and plus 10% crit severity. Hence why we use the emulating phaser lance. Space reputation, this is what we going on here. We got going on advanced targeting systems, magnified firepower, precision, auxiliary power configuration offense. Haven't used this one in a while, but is recommended to us by a good friend of us, by Nick. Because, well, yeah, with our aux power up, it's going to give us a little bit of more damage. And then Tyler's duality. 4 stations. This is what we're going on, left to right, top to bottom. As I can see, for the temporal light cruiser, we only got 4 stations. And this is what we decided to do. So, we have concentrated firepower, attack pattern beta, and we wanted to use torpedo spread. 3, because that is a beautiful visual. Hematite lace weaponry, distributed targeting, and fire at will 3, which is our major damage dealer. Here in the engineering or temporal slot, emergency power to engines, Heisenberg amplifier, emergency power to weapons, and recursive shearing. And in the side here we have tractor beam, jam targeting sensors, and scramble sensors. Now we go to our dupes. To ground helping us in space, Neil Falconer. Ground increased damage versus the Borg, but this also helps us in space. Elder Milikatan, increased damage versus all. And for our space doffs, Mercy Con holographic officer. The Con officer here recharges evasive maneuvers when emergency power to engines is activated. Agent Neural for a little bit of hull restoration when we use attack pattern beta. 3 energy weapons officers. You can see a chance to stack crit chance when firing weapons. We got 2 of those. And then 1 chance to stack crit severity when we fire weapons. Energy weapons, that is. And lastly, a projectile officer, chance for stacking crit severity, buff on firing projectiles. So that is the build. Now what we're going to do is take this ship, this old, lovely looking ship, and take it into a Cure Advance. Now, of course, what we're going to do when we get in there, take out the left docking station, go to the right docking station. While doing so, clearing the ships heading towards Akang, clear out the right docking station, clear out the middle, and finish the TFO off. And again, captains, for me, personally, this ship was the second ship I saw in Star Trek. So she is my second love. So it's always nice to be able to go back and do some fusions on her. So let's see how she does. Let's see how the pulse laser weapons look like. We're gonna have a look-see and see if it's close, if they maybe should change the sound. Probably not, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Right, let us activate some things here. Go straight to the left side first. If my things would activate, that'd be great. Okay, take that out. Head over here. The ships will clear out if we need to in a bit. Makes maneuvers in the can. So the pulse phasers do look a lot faster, but they still sound the same. But they kind of look a little ridiculous, to be honest. They don't look quite like they did in the movie there, but it's never going to be 100%. They are definitely firing faster. Ooh. Take that out. Okay, now we head over to this docking station. Let's take her out. It is kind of funny how fast it is firing. Not gonna lie, it's kind of funny. Let's take out these ships heading here. Like, look how fast they're firing. Even more so in special firing mode, like FA. I mean, they look pretty close, I guess. Take care of this. Now we head on to there you go. I can't even say pew 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 fast enough on how fast these things are firing. It's kind of hilarious, to be honest. Like I said, we were in the mood to go back to the ship because of all this, well, at least as a drop of this video, all this TMP talk for the 15th anniversary bundle, so why not? Right, let's take out this last group. Start buffing up here. Kind of ridiculous. Ooh, look at that, look at that. See, I love the torpedo looks of those advanced torpedoes. Like, I feel like the phaser, like these pulse phasers, should have a more scratchy sound. Just like how they did in the movie. But they do look a little better. They don't curve as much, and I think because of the speed, they don't do that curve thing when they're trying to track the target. Maybe that's what they were going for. But there you go. This old gal still did pretty good. So let's go over here, take our shelfies, captains, unless you don't know what that is. Those are ship selfies. We love doing it in this system because of just the lighting. Maybe we move back here a little bit, get a little bit of the Borg bits back there to show that she can still fuse with the best of them. Look at that. That is a worthy shelfie. Whether that'll be the actual thumbnail, we're not quite sure, but this could also be it. All right, let's head out. Back to Sol System and give our final ECs. But that's how she did, and that's how the new pulse phasers look, which again was one of the reasons for this video, was to showcase how they looked. And definitely we are excited to see what the 15th anniversary bundle will bring. Hence again why we decided to do this video and revisit the old Enterprise, the second love I have for Star Trek Online. So captains, that's going to be the video. Do us a huge favor, hit that like button, help the video out. Also comment below, let us know where this ship ranks in your Enterprise list. And of course, if you're new here, consider subscribing to the YouTube Bridge, and we'll leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.